Parmesan Alfredo, which was fried chicken with Parmesan cheese, pasta, and Alfredo sauce. JR and Ken have some Pepsi. JR had thought about going to a play, but with Karen and Jennifer gone, getting ready for the fall, JR didn't have a date. So he decided he and Ken would get a car service to take them for a nighttime cruise. Now, but that nighttime cruise didn't materialize. Jimmy was tired, so he went to sleep. On August 17th, 1993 at 3:40 a.m., JR wakes up after a fitful night's sleep. He reads a devotional and heads downstairs to the gym to the same cardio stationary bike and treadmill. By 5:45 a.m., Ken wakes up to find JR reading the Weekly Standard. They order eggs, sausage, and biscuits. Meanwhile, back home at the ranch, Jim and Claude wake up and head downstairs for some coffee. It was only 4:45 a.m. in Texas, so Christine wouldn't be up for another hour or so. By 10:40 a.m., JR takes a car service to the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. May I help you? A security guard asked. I'm here to see Henry Quinn, please, JR said. Right this way, sir. The guard escorts JR to the main hallway with an elevator. JR gets on the elevator and goes up to the second floor hallway. He goes up to the second floor when a senior staffer stops him. Tours ain't open, son. The man in the black coat. The tours ain't open, son. The man in the black coat and blue shirt and red tie said, I'm here to see Mr. Quinn, JR said. So you're the guest, Jim Hendrick. You're the guest Jim Hendrickson. Of course. Right this way, son. He is escorted into a center office. A man with black hair, black suit, blue shirt, and gray tie turns toward him. J.R. Hendrick, the man said. Your friend Brad from West Texas has told me so much about you. Your father's seeking some kind of appointment in the Clinton administration? But constitutionally, I don't know what kind of budget they have. JR begins what is known as a 35-minute interview with Mr. Quinn. And by 11:10 a.m., by 11:20 a.m., JR climbs onto an empty double-decker tour bus, which is him and the driver. JR gets out his cell phone and calls Brad. "It's done," JR said. "Good. Tell the driver to park the bus, the tour bus, 2 or 3 blocks from the church in Virginia Beach. I got one of the help at the church in Virginia Beach to park it." After hanging up with Brad, JR gets a call from the Episcopal Church help in Virginia Beach. "Tell your weird friend that I'll park the bus nearby and give the driver a plane ticket back to Philadelphia," the man said. By 11:55 a.m., JR and Ken have taco hamburgers in the hotel restaurant. JR learns that tonight was a meeting of the Philadelphia Constitutional Coalition at the hotel ballroom. Betsy Hendrick had purchased them tickets for them. Problem was, JR didn't have a date. But then again, Ken pointed out that someone at the National Constitution Center was sweet on JR and called him. Ken had asked her out for the evening with JR. 1:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Jim and Claude's private jet takes off, bound for Albuquerque. Their job right there was to investigate a rig purchase and bring the ideas back to his office meeting. After the meeting tomorrow, they would go for Rankin, Texas. 5:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. Back at Springfield, the ranch, Jim and Claude are relaxing, watching TV. At the same time, Christine is upstairs, going over her algebra homework with her tutor. She is angered that her tutor is making the homework such a big deal, as it was easy. The assignment of factors. Christine was way ahead, top 3 in the algebra class. By 6:55 p.m. in Philadelphia, meanwhile in Philadelphia, JR, Ken, and Dave are getting ready for the big dinner downstairs in the hotel ballroom. Dinner with Philly cheesesteak, mashed potatoes, asparagus, pecan pie, and soda to boot. No alcohol. JR's date, Lisa Wesley, would join him at the dinner. By 7:50 p.m., the banquet is in full swing, and quite a spread to it. Everyone from former Mayor William Good and Frank Rizzo, men were at one time conservative Democrats. Also, there was Philadelphia State President Walter Johnson and his first counselor, Frank Dubois. Throughout part of the dinner, one of the servants at the table became clearly aware that David Smith was indulging in candy bars. Before the banquet, JR's date, Lisa Wesley, informed him that she was transferring to Texas Tech to be close to her fiancé, so they can get married. JR learned that she was on the same track of studying political science, minoring in communication studies. Her fiancé was in business management. By 9:30 p.m., JR invites Lisa to come upstairs to his suite for a little bit. At first, she wasn't certain because she heard the stories about JR's father, but Dave Smith persuaded her that JR was no way like his oil tycoon father. They go upstairs and talk for 10 minutes. JR gives her a quick hug and let her go, calling downstairs for Dave Smith to get her a car service to take her home. It's the morning of the 18th of August, 12 a.m. Not long after Lisa left, Jim calls JR to say that the charter bus would be outside. In fact, is going to be outside at 12:40. Good thing was, JR and Ken were already packed. Taking their stuff, having learned that they were already checked out of the hotel, they got onto the motor coach and settled down for a night on the road. However, JR couldn't sleep, so he types out a letter that he would email to Joseph Hudson, the Dean of the Department of Political Communications, that he would change his major to a double communication in political science and public relations, with concentration on political science, communication studies, and mass communications. Sorry, Jimmy had to take care of a little personal difficulty. JR and Ken are about to return to Virginia Beach when Ken realizes he doesn't have an offensive. Luckily, JR takes up his cell phone and calls a 24-hour Edward Drug, who would agree to send